Hey, welcome back. Just wanted to do a quick impromptu video on a little upgrade I did for the WJ. I installed a little armor underneath to protect the oil pan from Taboo Customs, and just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on Under Armour. I promise I'm going to do a walk around video of the Jeep eventually, but here she is. Recently installed this little Under Armour thing. Let me flip the camera. So, nice little 3/16 steel plate by Taboo Customs. Hopefully protect the oil pan a little bit from some rocks and dings and tree branches, etc. So originally, this Jeep for kind of a dual purpose application, just to kind of take my family camping, and maybe if there was a hurricane or a natural disaster, I could crawl over some trees. You know, the whole design of this thing is not to be a rock crawler, you know, crawling mountains or going out west. I live in the southeast, so the idea was to make it as lightweight and efficient as possible. So I went with the 4.0 6-cylinder, and I'm just thinking about upgrades and little things I want to do to improve on it. I got a whole laundry list of parts and radios and dual battery systems and roof racks, but I think my next investment is going to be on replacing the whole front bumper and doing a winch bumper. But what are your thoughts for Armour? Let me know in the comments, and if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. Talk to you soon. So here you're going to see me start to prime and prep the skid plate. I had this idea that I wanted all of my trim and my armor and all the attachments that I do to the Jeep to be in red. So I scored up the skid plate with a little green score pad, and now here I am priming it, getting everything ready for the enamel paint that I'm going to put on top of it. We're going to go with, I guess it's a Sunburst Red by Rust-Oleum. Underneath you can see that the screws are on a little piece of cardboard as well. So I'm going to do the screws because they are different from the regular oil pan screws. They're a bit longer to account for the 3/16 inch thick steel. I keep walking away out of the video. As you can tell, that little rattle can creates quite a little cloud, so I'm not wearing a mask, but I am holding my breath and trying to escape when I can for fresh air. So this is a pretty quick process. I'm just using the Rust-Oleum self-etching primer. It's got about a 30 to 40 minute dry time before I can put on the enamel, so I'm going to put this on and wait for it to dry. And here we're back after about 30 minutes, about to put on our first coat of red. We're just going to keep it nice and light. I don't know if anybody else has had an issue with any of these enamel paints, but if you put the second coat on too soon, it really starts to bubble and remove the paint. So you got to give it quite a bit of time to cure and to dry and air out. The good thing is I had this baking in the sun for about 3 hours before I went out. So the metal was nice and hot. It cured it up pretty quick. The can says you're supposed to wait about an hour before the second coat, but I think on this one I ended up waiting only about 30 minutes. And here's the second coat. It'll go on pretty quick. This is mostly for cosmetic purposes. I did have a little issue where I tried to do a test fit for it and I chipped off some of the powder coating, so I just wanted to make sure that everything was nice and covered and it was the color I wanted and that there was not going to be any rust later on down the road. So just a little bit of extra precaution here. Coming up, we're going to have some still images of the install process. Turns out you really need 3 hands to install this thing and record at the same time. Here's the finished product once it's all done. And now we're going to get underneath the Jeep and take a look. So I couldn't hold the camera and actually do a recording of the install because I had to use both hands. But here you're going to see the passenger side of the oil pan. The bolts are easily accessible, not a problem at all. On the driver's side, however, I have the California version of this Jeep, and there are 4 oxygen sensors, and the exhaust branches off. And you can see here that it is a tight squeeze to get that thing in there. Feel bad for the poor bastard who's got to take that thing off. There we go from the front side. Nice little fit. And this is the finished product. So hopefully that'll keep it nice and protected, and then in the future we'll see about some more upgrades.